gone to is the requirement that all people purchase insurance or face a penalty. I'll admit this is probably one provision that won't be mourned immediately. But just as we pay taxes for roads we might not use that much, or for schools when we don't have children in them, we must pay for insurance to both protect ourselves and others. It's a responsibility, and it is one that doesn't restrict freedom, but rather opens up opportunity. Now, I don't think it's a surprise that we haven't heard much from our senators. But several weeks ago, I, along with several other organizations, asked some basic questions of both Cornyn and Cruz. Despite initial conversations and repeated follow-ups, the only answers we received had to come from the text of the bill itself. So instead of our senators explaining their positions to you, I guess I'll have to do it for them, which I'm sure would make them really happy. We asked, will you commit to vote against any bill that increases the number of uninsured? So now we know that is a strong no. They are just fine with increasing the number of uninsured. Will you commit to vote against any bill, we asked, that will reduce the affordability of insurance for Texas residents who are lower income, rural, or over the age of 55? It's clearly a no here as well. And these increased costs are to line the pockets of corporations. Finally, we asked if they would vote against any bill that either forces Texans' local property taxes to rise or forces hospitals to close. It's a no here as well. Because when you deeply cut Medicaid the way they want to, the only options are for local property taxes to rise to make up the difference, or for healthcare providers to shutter their doors. We'll see what happens over the next few days. There are complaints from both conservatives and moderates on the bill. Some are speculating that the bill is actually designed to fail, or at least fail just enough that they can resurrect it with tiny tweaks and jam it through, just like what happened in the House. We do know, though, if the bill gets voted out, the House still has to approve it before it goes to Trump. So while all eyes are on the Senate right now, we can't forget our representatives either. Unfortunately, we already know what they're capable of voting for. I'd like to close with something about this bill that has hit me in a very personal way. The gutting of insurance coverage and quality is an attack on Texas mothers and families, even as our state continues to face a maternal health crisis. For those who don't know, Texas has the highest maternal mortality rate in the country. This is the most dangerous state for a woman to give birth. Far too many must live with the very real fear that they may not be around in a year to care for their children and families. And this bill would make that fate even more likely. With their legislation, however, the Republican Senate is saying, I don't give a damn. Senator Cornyn, in praising this bill, is saying he doesn't give a damn. And Senator Cruz, looking for even more cuts to care, is saying he gives even less of a damn. Texans deserve better than this. Everybody does. Thank you so much, and like I said, happy to answer questions after.